It's early morning. The sun barely breaks through the trees above you. The jungle is already alive. Birds, insects, the soft drip of last night's rain still falling from the leaves. You wake up on a mat made from palm leaves. Not a mattress, not a pillow, a mat on the ground, and it feels completely normal because it's the only thing you've ever slept on. You don't reach for a phone. There are no phones here, no alarm, no screen, just the jungle noise and the distant sound of the ocean, which has been your alarm clock your entire life. You stand up, stretch, and reach for your bow, because today, like every single day before it, there is work to do. Hunting, fishing, building, protecting. The same things your father did, the same things his father did, going back, without interruption, for what the outside world would count as 60,000 years. Welcome to North Sentinel Island, one of the last truly isolated places left on Earth. No roads, no electricity, no contact with the outside world. Not one day of it. And you're about to learn what that actually looks like. Your island is small. Roughly 72 square kilometers of thick jungle, white sand beaches, and coral reef. About the size of Manhattan, though you have no idea what Manhattan is. You know this place completely. Every path through the jungle, every fruit tree, every current in the shallow water. You've been learning it since before you could walk. The outside world calls this place North Sentinel Island. You have your own name for it. Nobody outside has ever heard it because nobody outside has ever been close enough to ask. And if they tried, they'd get an arrow in response. Beyond the reef, you can sometimes see shapes on the horizon, large ones, moving. They don't look like your boats. They look wrong. And every time you see them, something deep fires in your chest. Reach for your bow. Keep them away. You've always known this. You don't fully know why yet, but you will. And when you do, it will make complete sense. The air is already thick and wet before the sun clears the trees. Everything is damp. You've spent your whole life in this heat, so you barely notice it. You pick up your bow. In the outside world, bows are things in museums, old weapons, or weekend toys. Here, your bow is your lifeline. You made it yourself, carved the wood by hand, tied it with plant fiber, fitted with long, straight arrows tipped with iron. And that iron, salvaged from ships that crashed on your reef. You heat it in fire until it softens, beat it into shape, let it cool hard. The outside world would find that remarkable. To you, it's just how arrowheads are made. You move through the jungle quietly. You learned this by following your father, watching, copying, getting it wrong, adjusting. By the time you were old enough to carry your own bow, moving silently was already automatic. You spot movement, a wild pig digging in the dirt ahead. You go completely still. The bow comes up. You wait for the right moment. Hunting here isn't a sport. It is a core part of who you are and what you give to your group. But the jungle is only half of your world. The ocean is waiting. You pull your boat down to the water, a narrow wooden boat with a balancing arm on the side. No engine, no motor, just a paddle, your arms, and your knowledge of the water. In the outside world, people drive to supermarkets, huge buildings packed with food from across the planet, kept cold by electricity. What you have instead is a coral reef within paddling distance of where you sleep, packed with more food than you could eat in a week. Fish in every size, crabs hiding in the gaps, shellfish you can grab by hand. You stand in the boat, spear ready. Water bends light, which means fish are never quite where they look from above. You don't think about this anymore. Your body has done it so many times, it just happens. You aim where the fish actually is. You throw, it hits. Here's something worth knowing. In 2004, the Indian Ocean tsunami killed over 200,000 people across more than a dozen countries. Your island was right in its path, but somehow you survived because you read the signs. The animals moved to higher ground. The water pulled back from the reef in a way your people knew meant danger. You moved. The wave came. When it was over, you came back down. 200,000 people with satellites and modern weather technology had no time to react. Your 60,000 years of knowledge saved everyone on your island. And that is just the beginning of what living here has given you, because the real threat has never been the ocean. You've seen them before. The large shapes on the water that sometimes come closer. The response has always been the same, passed down, not in writing, but in deep inherited understanding. Strangers from the water are dangerous. Drive them away. No discussion. Here's the history of those encounters, because you deserve to know what's actually been happening. In 1867, a ship crashed on your reef. Survivors made it to your beach. Your ancestors drove them off with arrows. In 1974, a film crew arrived with cameras, devices that take pictures, though you have no word for them. They left gifts. A live pig, which your people stabbed and buried. Plastic toys, also buried. Coconuts, which were kept because coconuts are useful. One of your ancestors put an arrow through the leg of the man holding the camera. The group left quickly. In 2018, a young American man came alone. He wanted to talk to you about a religion you've never heard of. He came back several times after you made it clear he wasn't welcome. On his last approach, he didn't leave. The Indian government has since declared your island off-limits, a 3-mile zone where no boats are allowed, not to protect strangers from you, to protect you from strangers. And the reason is something you will never learn, but it might be the most important thing about your entire life. See, your immune system has never come across the diseases of the outside world. Not one. No flu, no measles, no chicken pox. None of those things have ever reached your island, so your body has never had to learn how to fight them. This means that if someone from the outside world stepped onto your beach and coughed near you, just coughed, it could spread through your whole group and kill half of everyone you know within weeks. Their body handles it without noticing. Yours has no answer at all. You can't know this, but your people found the right answer without ever knowing the question. Keep everyone out, always, with arrows if needed. On nearby islands, other isolated groups made contact with the outside world during colonial times. Within a generation, their numbers collapsed. The Great Andamanese, once thousands of people, were reduced to dozens within decades. Disease tore through them like nothing their bodies had ever faced. Your ancestors watched this happen to their neighbors. They didn't understand the reason, but they understood the result. Every arrow you've ever aimed at a boat on the horizon is not aggression. It is, without anyone fully knowing why, exactly the right thing to do. You come back from the water with fish. Your home is built from what the island gives you. A bamboo frame, big palm leaves layered into a thick roof. No concrete, no machines, built with your hands from materials you cut yourself. When part of it needs fixing, you fix it. Inside, there's no furniture the way the outside world would recognize. A fire pit, sleeping mats, your tools and weapons stored nearby. Everything has a purpose. Nothing is just for show. You prepare the fish with your handmade knife, an iron blade shaped from salvaged metal, wooden handle carved to fit your grip, no drawer full of kitchen tools, just this knife, which you've used so many times it feels like part of your hand. You eat together. There's no such thing here as sitting down to a private meal while your neighbor goes hungry. Whatever comes in today feeds everyone. Hunters, children, elders, everyone eats. Not because someone made a rule, because this is simply how it works. The children are watching, learning the same way you learned. No school, no classroom, just watching adults work, being shown, trying, getting corrected, trying again. By the time a child here is a teenager, they can hunt, fish, build shelter, read the weather, and identify every useful plant in the jungle. Skills built from the very beginning of life. You have no electricity, no fridge, no phone, no TV, no internet. a huge invisible network connecting billions of devices across the planet that you don't know exists. No running water, no roads, no money, no banks, no debt, no government, no police, no courts, no written language, no books, no records of anything, no idea that 8 billion other humans share your planet. You have no addiction problem, no stress about the future of the planet, no confusion about who you are or what your life is for. You know exactly what you're here for. Every morning, the point of the day is obvious and real. You go out, you find food, you come back. The people you love eat. There's no gap between what you do and why it matters. The outside world has been trying to find that feeling again for a very long time. The sun drops fast near the equator. The sky above your island at night is something most people alive right now have never seen and never will. No city lights for hundreds of kilometers. The stars aren't a handful of dots. They are everything. A wall of light. Thousands of them blurring together. The full galaxy, visible every single night. You don't know the word galaxy, but you've looked at that sky every night of your life. You know the patterns, where certain stars sit at certain times of year. The sky is your calendar, your one constant that never changes. You are one person on a small island in the Bay of Bengal. Outside that island, 8 billion people exist. Cities that never go dark, machines that can think, feeling more disconnected than ever from the things that actually seem to matter. And here, a group of people live the exact same way they have lived for 60,000 years. Not one human society in recorded history has lasted that long. Not one. The day ends the same way it started. The mat beneath you, the sound of the jungle and the ocean. Tomorrow, you'll wake up and do it again. Hunt, fish, build, protect, not because a system requires it, because this is your life, your island, your people, and your 60,000-year-old reason for being here. Every outsider who has ever come across that water with something to prove has eventually turned around and left. The island is still here, and for now, this is your life. If you found this video interesting, please consider subscribing for more content like this. Thanks for watching.